appreciate the effort our choir, the music minister made in doing what needs to be done. We praise the Lord for a new day, and welcome to IBC. It's Pasko na. Pasko na. Kaya dami ng Christmas na ni Ate Luz dito na nagkala. It's also right smack in the back end of our season for the family, and as you probably expect, we've been talking about family and the importance of family, relationships, raising our kids, raising our families. Today I want to, move into a little bit with relationships. We were created by God as people who relate to each other. There's that, I don't know about the only one who was weird. Nung bata kami, and I still hear kids talk about that today. They give you a paradigm or an approach on relationships. And kids, they ask the weirdest questions about human relationships. I don't know if you're the only one who's ever been asked this. I don't know. I think marami tayo. But have you ever been asked this question? Usually mga bata, elementary, ang nagtatanong. Sabi niya, what if you can have everything you want? Meron kang kotse, meron kang basketball court, may malaki kang bahay, you have a swimming pool, you have your PS4, tas ang screen mo yung sinihan, laki, no? Ang screen mo yung sinihan, and you have everything in the world, pero wala kang hindi ka pwede makipag-relate sa ibang tao, wala kang telepono, modern na ngayon, bata ng telepono eh. Wala kang Facebook, wala kang Wi-Fi, ikaw lang mag-isa, but you have everything in the world that you want. Will you take the dare? Have you ever been asked that question? Ako mga bata ako, we love asking stupid questions like that. And every single time, as you're younger, many will say, oh naman, I will bigay mo sa akin lahat ng gusto ko and everything I want, but I don't have to relate to people. Okay lang. And most of the time, kids who are smaller will say yes. No? And as they grow older, nagkaroon siya ng crush. No? Nung nagkaroon ng crush, ang problema ng mga bata ngayon, pabata yung nagkaka-crush eh. Nung panahon namin, teenager, bago ka magkaroon ng legitimate crush. Yung legitimate crush, yung crush na kasi talaga, no? Ngayon, preschool pa lang, may crush na eh. Nung panahon nila Ate Luz, kailangan 50 anyos ka bago ka magkaroon ng crush. Had to be at least, grandparent age bago ka magkaroon ng crush. Ngayon, dito mga preschool kids, meron crush, and talagang legitimate crush. May crush talaga. To the point like, ano ba? Diba? Hindi ka pa nga makapagpunas ng point mo, may crush ka na. It's crazy how that works. But most of the time, when kids, ang kanilang valuation system medyo limited pa to sa kanilang gadgets and the stuff they like and the things they play with. Addict sila sa basketball kahit mag-isa lang sila. Yung mga ganun ba? And they're into their hobbies and into their things. Most of the time, they will say, di ko kailangan yan. Bigyan mo ko in the middle of the desert. They always say that, di ba? Sa gitna ka ng desert, meron kang sinihan, you have your games, you have your stuff, I will survive. That's what they always say. Until they began to desire relationships. No? Suddenly, everybody gets to that age. Suddenly, nagbinata. Si B-Boy, ayaw na magpakis sa harapan ng mga classmate. Ayaw na mag-hug. Ako, I have a habit at school, paparada ako na listen to the news, so yung kotse ko nandun, nihintay ko nakatawa. Yung mga magulang, sasama nila yung mga anak nila, and then pag it's within the block of the school, lumalayo na yung bata sa kanyang naghahatid. And acting like wala siya kasama. Mga friends niya, no? Si nanay nandun sa bandalikod, mga 10 steps behind, o si tatay, o si yaya, o si ganon, no? Sometimes, paparada ganyan, they're gonna park, and they're gonna come off the car, pagbaba ng bata-bata, pero when they get off the car, suddenly when they get out of the car, minsan hindi ako makakawin sa magulang. Diba? Suddenly nagbinata, nagdalaga, no? Ayaw na magpakis. Sa bahay namin, di pwede yun. Matanda na, kinilisang ka pa. Why is that? Suddenly, relationships began to matter. Tama? Nung nalaman niya yung tatay niya, nanay niya may Facebook, ayaw na mag-Facebook. Kasi ngayon, in generation today, they say, ang Facebook, pang matanda na. Okay, so mga older generations, huwag niyo isipin na hip and modern kayo dahil may Facebook kayo. Because they don't do Facebook anymore. They might do My Day, IG, Twitter, and whatever else. Pero ang Facebook ay pang mga retirado ng mga tao. They only view it, but they don't post comments. Meron silang Facebook for the sake of Facebook, pero walang comments yan, walang rant yan, walang kahit na ano. No? So yung mga magulang who actually think that they are in touch with the modernities, guess what? You're wrong. No? Ang dami sinasabi, walang katapusang chat and text and chat sa mga friends. In fact, mga friends sa school, no? Ang dami sasabihin, daming rant, daming post. Pag tinanong mo bilang magulang, so, how was your day? Okay ka lang ba? Ano ba ibig sabihin nyo? Kagabi I taught a parenting seminar over in Bustos, Bulacan. Pretty large school, and it was the same thing. Alam niyo ba yung ganon? Pag ganon, okay lang. Pag bad day, okay lang. Pag exciting, basta ang difference, di ko na alam, pero nasagot nila. Kailangan hilahin mo muna talaga. You gotta pull that information out of them before they even talk. Yeah. Why? Kasi suddenly, relationships began to take their proper priorities of sorts. Pero mga magulang, may good news ako sa inyo. Malapit na magpasko. Maglalambing na yan. Para gusto kong magka-Bluetooth na earphones. Sagot na magulang, bakit? Ano pa kailangan mo ng Bluetooth earphone? Wala ka namang phone. Ayaw nga, ano? Tama? Di magala, malapit na birthday, malapit na magpasko. Lalambing na ulit yan. Paglilinis ng bahay, kahit malinis naman. Yung gano'n, magkakalat para may dadamputin. Yung mga gano'n, patayin nila. Pasko na eh. Pasalamat akin, Pamlus. What are you saying? You know, suddenly relationships take on, a thing. Relationships become a major point in our lives. Yung dating hindi masyado important, now it's like major important. But they grow up with that thing where I hate girls. Yung mga boys, they have a I hate girls stage. No? Yung mga ibang binata dito, hindi na sila outgrown. Ito yung binata pa sa Kuya Marky. That's I hate girls stage. Kasi na-burn naman, usapan. And then they grow up, and then I love girls. Lahat girls. Matagal po yun. Matagal. It's one of those deals. Kasi relationships begin to matter. Then they go to their it's sort of, I love my friends, and maybe a girl, if the girl will like my friends. Yeah. That's the next stage. Then they grow out of it, then they get to the, full gross lang. Even if my friends don't like her, I don't care. Nasa kabilang side na. We get those stages. Why? Because we are relational beings. God created us for relationships. In fact, God says in the Bible in Genesis sabi, and God saw, perfect creation, and God saw that it was not good for man to be alone. And so He created from him a woman. In other words, He created, initiated, started relationships. And from that day forward, man can never live alone. Alone. Relationships began to matter. No? Whether it's for marriage or for friendships, it began to matter. Tama? You go through high school. Lahat ng tao gustong mag-career na ganito. Kasi uso yun eh. Naalala ko nung unang batch ng high school, tinuruan ko, uso yung PT. Wow! Lahat ng tao gusto mag-PT. And then lahat gusto maging nurse. Lahat gusto maging nurse. And then nauso lahat gusto maging chef. Culinary arts. Bakit gusto mag-culinary arts? Kasi akala nila, paluto-luto ka lang, binabayaran ka. Short-sighted eh, no? I asked her, meron pa isang trend. Dentistry. I've been teaching since, for almost 30 years now. Dentistry. I asked one of my students, ano gusto mong gawin? Gusto ko po mag-dentist. Bakit? Kasi lahat ng batch nila, lahat gusto mag-dentist. No? At saka yung magulang niya, gusto mag-dentistry. Okay. Sabi ko, kasi guidance counselor ko, I asked, sabi ko, would you like to, nakatingin ka sa ngalangala ng taong bulok-bulok ang ipin na may mga nana, at maraming dugo for the next 30 years. Kadiri, pastor, hindi dentista, puro yung makikita mo. Baka alam mo, titigan kayo ng taong cute mo, pogi, kaya tumutulong-tulong lawal na ganyan. Dahil mga bulok-bulok na ipin, ang bahay na, puro nana. Yung gagawin mo habang buhay, kaya mo yun? Huwag na lang po. Basta bang pinili yan? Classmate ko po, lahat sila. Kasi relationships matter. Right? Almost every Filipino young man wants to play in the NBA. 5'1", NBA. Ano ka, sapatos kung siya kinulim? Lahat na nag-iinit ng ganyan. Diba? Pastor, libre panaginip, magpakasasa ka. But there are certain realities. But why? Because all my friends were dictated by peers. Because we are relational beings. At the core of all relationships are man and woman relationships. We're talking about marriage. One day, everybody decides to want to do that. Now, sa segue lang ako meron mga tao that God has allowed them to be blessedly single. Okay? Ibig sabihin, talagang masaya sila and fulfilled being a single person. That's good. Okay? But there are also a great many people who claim to be blessedly single because they're just terrible at relationships. No? Maasin pa ang ugali mo sa single na sampalok at kamyas pinagsama. So you're not blessedly single. You're just not relatable. Tama? Many Christians, brad, ako, blessed singleness ako. No? Talaga? Pero pag tira mo, ba't nga ba hindi nag-asawa mo? Hindi ko kailangan mag-asawa? Bakit? Ang tingin mo, hindi ako pwede mag-fulfill? Nag-get out? Ginawa ko ng Diyos. Wow, defensive. Kaya pa hindi ko makahanap. Tinanong ko lang eh. Bakit? Ang tingin mo, wala nang ligaw sa akin? Marami nang ligaw sa akin. Si Jose Rizal, niligawan ako. And you're like, whoa, chill ka lang. Ba? Some people claim blessed singleness, but they're not single. They're single because they have a bad attitude. Okay? So if you're blessedly single, God bless you. God has great things for you. Apostle Paul was single. Diba? So you know. And men, please don't say idol mo si Apostle Paul. Diba ginagawa sobrang biblical? No? Eh kung idol mo si Apostle Paul, kaya ay mag-asawa, tao na nakikita ng cut of 9 nails 3 times. Sagadin na natin. Because we're made to be doing that. But this morning, we're going to talk about, what it means pag pinag-usapan natin ang relationship. Kasi relationships actually all begin with a covenant. A covenant, malapit tayo, from promises that are remade. Even friends among friends have an unspoken covenant. David and Jonathan had an incredible covenant. No? Have an incredible covenant. Because friends are created from a covenant. Kaya uso yung mga gang and fraternities. Why? Kasi, what? Ginugulpi kayo eh. Tama? May hazing yan eh. So suddenly, when you're hazed, you feel a sense of oneness. May covenant kayo. May handshake kayo. No? Napansin ko lang sa mga handshake na yan, mga kakaiba, gusto kong makita yan, pag may mga 70 ayos ka, may arthritis ka na. Paano mong na-handshake yan? Understood na yun, Prime? Okay. No? Kaya kung matalino ka mag-gang, fist bump na lang, mas mabilis. Well, because you came to the same thing. When you enter a particular field of study, you have a sort of covenant. If you're a law school, you call each other pañero, even though you're not yet a lawyer or you didn't become one. Kasi may pinagdaanan kayong sama-sama. No? May pinagdaanan kayong something because they're built on covenants and relationship. Such is the greatest covenant found apart from God is a covenant of a marriage. When we talk about covenants of the marriage, I want to talk to you greatly about that this coming weekend. Sa Friday and Saturday po is our couples retreat. I'm actually really excited about this couples retreat. First of all, the couples retreat is exciting for me because it gets to we get to do it in town. No? Hindi malayo. Sa Makati tayo. That's going to be a really nice place in Makati. It's at the Eaton mini suites. No? Friday and Saturday. Okay? But you have to make deposits today. Very latest na po ang tomorrow. Why? Kasi limited lang po ang slots natin. Around 25 to 30 slots lang po tayo. Okay? If you're getting married, you need to get. We will not put you in the same room. Why? Baka mapaanda yung marriage nyo. Okay? If you're getting married, you need to be sa pastor. Yung couples retreat natin, yung mga nag-a-attend dyan, nakakasal na, biglang naghihiwala. Ibig sabihin bad yun, actually good yun. Because it saved them a lot of heartaches. People who are getting married, they have their head in the clouds. No? Yung lalaki papangasabi, so perfect. No? So perfect. Sobrang understanding niya sa akin. Di ba? Until nakita mo nung kasama sa bahay, busabos pala sa brief. Busa sa iniiwan yung brief. No? Tama? Masakit doon, yung brief niya, may kalawin, hindi pa inuugasa iniiwan doon. Nag-2 months anniversary na, nandun pa rin sa may banyo. Tama? Ba? Tapos, napangasawa mo pala, yung perfect na babae, na gusto mo, mas makapal may buhok sa kilig-kilig kaysa sa'yo. Tapos, naniniwala siya sa natural woman. So, sahanin mo yung, hi, babe! Choo! Mo yung kilig-kilig, sakit ka sa mukha. Parang hindi na iniisip mo kay real woman. Babe, may takpo kang ulo sa dalawang ulo. Do I believe in the natural woman? Sabi na, bubulan ka, ang dahil mo na lalaman. No? Yung perfect close-up smile pala, buong ipin pala, tinatanggal sa kinukas-kus na gano'n. Hindi nasabi sa'yo. Oo, close-up smile ko, pagka binabag mo ito sa, sa baking soda, tsaka sa di mo diba? Kiss me, baby, kiss me. Gulat ka, dahil mga surprises. Diba? Pumasok ka ng bahay sa kwarto nyo, ba't kami kasichas? Yung pala, asawa mo, di ba rin maghugas ng paa? Diba? Kaya amoy panis na bago. Ano yan? Ano yan? Ba't kami angkrak sa paa? And sinabi, okay lang. Relational things, Go. Invest. Invest. Pastor! Ang mahal kasi, kan-bayad natin 3,700. Last year was 3,500. Lahat po ng, nandiyan na po lahat. Okay? Pati masahe. You have a buffet breakfast in the morning. Wala kang makita ng yung conference center natin is actually poolside. May covered air-conditioned tent tayo lahat. Sa serve na lang doon. Ganda. Ang matindi niyan, ang nag-ayos niya, katinding, composition na yan, si Kuya Marky. Sino nyo? Nagpapahatid, nagpapahiwatig sa mga single ladies dito. Pwede siyang samahan sa compost retreat natin. Diba? Ladies, huwag magunahan. Magunahan. Nauna sa pila si Ate Luz, si Ate Ruby, kayo pila sila. Parang si Jacob yan, di ba? Sabi niya, hindi mo pwedeng pakasalan yung mas bata. Kailangan yung senior citizen muna. Ay, nauna pangasawa niya ako, si senior citizen. Take time. Pastor! Kasi, man, I want to encourage you to take the initiative. Hindi to sasabihin ng mga asawa niyong babae. Pero once I say it, as I say it now, all the women will quietly, to keep your pride in check, will quietly say, oo nga po, sana. Nothing is more self-valuing to a woman when her husband takes the initiative to make the relationship better. I don't care what you gotta do. Kasi guys, pag meron tayong hobbies, meron tayong gusto, meron tayong gustong gastusan, ginagawan natin ng paraan. Men, please don't ask your wife, babe, gusto mo bang pumunta? Kasi parang nagdadalawang isip ka pa. Okay? Ang totoong sabi doon dito, men, punta tayo. Ako na bahala. Akin ang kape, sa iyong bayad sa karibunan. Kurang gastusan mo. Bakit? Kasi anything valuable is worth the investment given you. Tayo mga lalaki, masunog na ang bahay, huwag lang ating mga sapatos. Mga anak ko kahapon, siksikan kami. Iba! Tapos, iba! Hindi mo ito, naapakan yung sapatos ko, hello! Siksikan tayo sa isang maliit na kotse, sapatos inaalala mo. Ano yun? Di ba yung magustong damit? Mayipit ang puwet, magkautugan, huwag lang ang sapatos. Mga lalaki talaga ako, kaya ba? Nagagawa ng paraan. Men, take the initiative on this one. Take the initiative on this one. Okay? Take the initiative on this one. All you got to do is put 50% down today and tomorrow. Okay? The rest, doon na tayo. Friday, alas 12. Let's talk about why. Bakit, Pastor? What are you talking about? Why is that important? I've belabored that point. This is the story of Priscilla and Aquila, the greatest husband and wife tandem in the Bible. In Acts, it says this, Acts 18. And after this, Paul left Athens and went to Corinth, and he found a Jew named Aquila, the native of Pontus, recently came from Italy with his wife, Priscilla, because Claudius had commanded that all the Jews to leave Rome. Notice first the doctrine of first mention in hermeneutics. Ang nauuna ay yung mas may mataas na posisyon. Notice here ang sinabi, and he found a Jew named Aquila, siya lalaki. and his wife, ano pangalan? Priscilla. Doctrine of first mention. But in verse 18, after this false statement, he spoke her, and they took leave of brothers and set sail for Syria, and with him was Priscilla and Aquila. The only one time in the entire Bible is in verse 2 na unang binanggit si Aquila, pangalawa si Priscilla. After this mention, in Timothy, in Corinthians, every time binabanggit ang mag-asawa nito, the doctrine of first mention, una nang binabanggit si Priscilla, pangalawa si Aquila. Ibig sabihin, because of that teaching, it shows to us that in the leadership of the ministry of this husband and wife, apparently si Priscilla ay mas mahalaga o mas mataas ang pwesto kaysa kay Aquila. Kami po mag-asawa, obviously, are a husband and wife tandem. Tama? It's obvious, you don't have to think about that too hard, right? In many areas of ministry, I am first mentioned. I don't ask for that. It just so happens that my role is bigger, right? But in the ministry of this church, to the music ministry, in my mind and heart, my wife gets first mention. When it comes to dealing with our ministry, with kids at Boys Town and other areas like that, I always say it in TV interviews, radio interviews, internet interviews, I always say it is my wife and I just follow her. Because I believe that the vision of that ministry is with her. I just support it. I have no issue with that whatsoever. No issue. The problem we have today is this. Men keep wanting to be the leader of the home. Men keep wanting to take precedence in the home. Men keep wanting to be the leader of their house, but they refuse to lead when it comes time to lead. Puro tayo, men, I'm the leader of the home. I'm the father of the home. Ako ang decision maker. But you refuse to lead. No wonder the thing is a mess. Let me explain to you once more. And every thought, knowing their thoughts, he said to them, this is Jesus. Sabi, every kingdom divided against itself is laid waste, and no city or houses divided against itself will stand. Relationships are broken internally because hindi maayos ang relationship externally ng mag-aasawa. One thing has always behooved me pagdating sa relationship. Bakit pagka mag-shota pa lang kayo, mag-boyfriend, girlfriend pa lang kayo, nagkakasundo kayo sa lahat ng bagay? No? Yung lalaking boyfriend mo na pamacho effect, nung mag-girlfriend, boyfriend kayo, nanonood ng Korean telenovela at saka mahilig sa Hello Kitty. Kasi sabi ng girl, ang cute nito, no? Sabi nila, oo nga, ang cute sa usok niya. Yeah. Oh, ang cute, cute. No? Anong tingin mo? Ang ganda na nakakakilig. Sabi ng lalaki pamacho effect, oo nga, nakakakilig. In his mind, he said, no tayo sine, okay. Ano gusto panoorin? Yung Tagalog love story, sabi nila, oh, parang maganda nga yan. Pero in his mind, he's like, man, wala bang baring lang, saksakan, tsaka ispadahan. Pasensya na po kayo, konti lang. Ang babae tulad ng misis ko na mahilig sa boxing, tsaka UFC. Huwag kayong tatabi dyan. Pag nanonood ng boxing, tsaka UFC, baka tamaan kayo ng right hook. Wow! Gumagano pa yun, no? One day, dumating ako sa bahay, gabi na. I came from out of town, nanonood ako misis ko ng TV, wala nang pinapanood. Exactly. Naka-rear naked joke. Kaya, babe, okay ka na? Nanonood ka mag-isa lang. Suntukan, kung tumuhin mo anong mata. Oo! Gumagano pa yun. Diba? Konti lang po silang may slight tiniling tungkol sa mga bagay niya. So wala tayong magagawa dyan. Look at Amos from the Old Testament. Shall two walk together except they have agreed? You see, that's what's important when it comes to doing something like this. You know, broken covenants always results in broken relationships. Your relationships are weak because you keep breaking promises. Relationships are weak. I'm not talking about nag-promise kang magugas ng plato tapos di mo hinugasan. Okay? Naintindihan po natin, mga lalaki, na meron pong mga bagay, lalo sa gawain sa bahay, na talagang nasa verse sa Bible yan. Alam niyo kung ano yun? You know? For there is none righteous like my wife, no man cometh. Okay? May mga bagay na, for example, sa bahay namin, bawal ako magtiklop ng tuwalya. Kasi ang concept ko po ng pagtitiklop ng tuwalya, para mag-origami, may bakote. Bawal. Okay? Kaya ang ginawa ko, inaral ko yung pagtitiklop ng tuwalya ayon sa doktrina ng aking asawa. Para hindi ako na magkaka-time out. No? There's some things we just can't do quite well enough, but that's their area. You see, I'm not talking about those things. I'm talking about broken promises, broken covenants. Because when you got married, kahit kayo sa huwes o sa simbahan, you made a covenant. Pastor, you're talking about I promise to love you and to cherish you. Hindi yun. I'm talking about a covenant from God. Ecclesiastes chapter 5. When relationships are broken, it's because covenants are broken. Pastor, how do we do that? I'm not going to talk about that. Let's look at the devil of a working relationship, okay? Now, if your relationship is intact, then you know what not to do or what to do. If your relationship is messed up, then you know now what happened. If it is currently getting messed up, then you will know what is happening by this simple message this morning. When we talk about the relationship of Priscilla and Aquila, they were strong because they shared a common faith. I'm not just talking about, knowing Christ as Savior, but it starts there. Stop la, segue. Singles. 30 years na po akong pastor next year. Pwede ba, tantanan nyo nga ako ng pagdating ng lalaki o babae dito sa simbahan natin na crush mo o naliligaw sa'yo para baptisin ko. Una, Bible church tayo. So hindi mo sila pwedeng baptisin. Dalahin mo dito yung crush mo o shoot up mo para Christianin ko. Para maging mapilit natin Lord's will kayo. Una sa lahat, kahit pareho kayong Christian, posibleng hindi kayo Lord's will. Never po ako nagka-girlfriend ng hindi Kristiyano. Lahat Kristiyano. Pero yung babae lang yun ang Lord's will sa akin. Mas lalo naman siya. Hindi mo na, baka matrombo lang. Sabi sa mas marami. Mas mabait ako kaysa dyan. Pero, ganun din! Yung nga lang yung mga iba, walang pwede talaga. Ako lang talaga yung okay. Pero yung mga iba, supply talaga yung okay. Pero, but it still doesn't, it's the same thing. So please, singles, stop bringing men and women to church so that I can disciple them to Jesus. And then, pwede mo sabihin, yung Christian ka na, pwede mo na ako ligawan. My goodness, ano ba? Magpakapahalaga ka naman. Maraming Kristiyanong single, cheap ka masyado eh. Pinipilit mo kalooban ng Panginoon dahil crush mo, dahil gusto mo na naliligaw sa'yo. Masyado kang cheap. Have some self-value because you were bought with a price. You were bought with a high price. Why would you sell your life, your body, your future, God's plan for you just because may crush ka? You understand? I see so many of our young people do the same. No? Ang tinu-tinu dito, maabot pa iba sa singles na. No? Suddenly they get desperate. Kasi the time clock is winding. Nakakita ng pogi. Tapos mukhang medyo Christian. My goodness, ano ba yung medyo Christian? E paano pag namatay ngayon? Kalahati lang, kalahati pero maputi, sunog. Yung ay medyo Christian. Ha? Mga magulang, pagkausap niyo yung mga anak ninyo, at nakita mo hindi Christian, anak, magkalimutan na tayo pag sumusunod sa Panginoon yan. Sinabi ko na po yan sa mga anak ko, anak, kung yun ang gusto mo, sige, pero huwag ka na mag-church dito. Pastor, tapang mo naman. Mga kapatid, kinabukasan, pinag-usapan natin dito. Ano to? Saan to McDonald's? You will always be a part of the family. You will have a share in the school. Pero huwag tayo magluhan. Huwag ka mag-church eh. Natitipuan mo eh. Walang kwenta. Nasingkero kung ano-ano. Oh, nakita mo yung babae na natitipuan mo eh. Ha? Ang damit eh galing sa ukay-ukay. 75% off. Bakit? 25% lang suot eh. Pero Christian, ba't nakalabasan siya yan? Neighbor's bat? For God so loved the world, nakatapon dito? Eh kung pwede, sige, papayag ako. Come on, huwag tayo maglamuhan. Priscilla and Aquila were strong because they shared a common faith. The gospel is the most powerful, rewarding, and unifying tool for any relationship. Pastor, tumatanda na ako. Alam, dalawa lang yan eh. Sabi ni Apostle Paul, single, ha? It is better to marry than to burn. Yan ang ginagamit ng mga ano. Pero sabi ko sa inyo, if you marry the wrong person, it is better to burn than to marry. Kasi you're going to burn anyway. I've seen that in this church many times, too many times. Pasok dito, iba pa Christian, siyempre naliligaw, yung borin magsisimba naman, di ba? Until malagyan ito. Sa din ng crack, wala na. I have refused marrying our young people because they was marrying someone who was not right with God. Either suwail sa Panginoon, Kristiyano, pero suwail, so naniniwala ako, makailigtas yan. Kasi if you are a Christian, hindi ka pwedeng manitili na suwail sa Panginoon forever. Ha? Baka hindi ka totoo anak ng Panginoon, religious ka lang. Lalo mo natitili ka, tagal mo, suwail ka, boy ka pa rin. No, kung di ka pinapauwi sa taas, eh baka hindi ka anak, sa baba kaya ate. Pastor, you're talking strong. Yes, I'm talking strong. Why? Because relationships matter in God. And your relationship will either make your life the way God designed or break it and crush it away from God's design. And if you share a common faith, you're on a good start. Not only in the sharing the common faith, take time to build up your faith. Pag pareho na kayong malapit sa Panginoon, pareho na kayo nakakilala pala sa Panginoon, spend time to build each other's faith. Ha? Huwag ka mag-bring sa bahay. Misis ko, hindi mo ba naiintindihan? Hindi mo mag-gano'n. But take time to share your faith. Alam mo mga lalaki, kaya wala kayong ma-share sa asawa nyo about being strong in faith kasi you've never taken the time to strengthen your own faith. Wala kang pwedeng i-share kung wala ka naman laman. Ha? Ang ganito, na walang tubig, lalagyan lang, sisidlan na. Many men cannot lead their wives and family in faith because you're just all religion. Or you don't talk faith. You don't have a personal, everyday, daily walk with God. Ha? Single men, you don't have a walk with God. Wala kang may kwento dun sa babae na nililigawan mo at pinagpe-pray mo about what God is doing in your life kasi yung jutax mo, puro Mobile Legends. Ha? At saka ano nilalaro nyo ngayon? Ano yan? Ha? Call of Duty. Utak mo puro Call of Duty tsaka Mobile Legends. Mga babae, huwag kang bobo. Mas matalino ang babae sa lalaki. How do you know? Hindi napakasalang mo. Di ba? Matalino siya, mautak ako. O, wala. Panalo pa rin. Di ba? Ha? Girls, pag yung lalaki na yan, walang maikwento alone. Go away. Run as fast as you can away from the guy. Why? Because if you stay longer in that guy, his charms will make him appear cute. Ay, ang cute niya, 44 years old na, nagpo-Mobile Legends pa, tsaka Call of Duty, araw-araw, pagising sa umaga, pagtulog sa gabi, in between work at tsaka break time. My goodness, yung ba gusto mo? Take time to build each other's faith. Hindi naman kailangan masyado palaki. Ha? Men, huwag niyo sabihin sa akin na nag-attend kayo ng small group. Member kayo ng mga grupo ng church. Dami na ngayon eh. Golfers club, tennis club, runners club, bikers club. Dami. Nagdi-devotion kayo, nag-men's ano kayo, pero wala kang ma-share sa asawa mo. Ginawa nilang religious yan, pero hobby lang yan. Ha? Member ka ng yung, ano ba to? Rotary Club, ha? Golf Club, Lion Club, Elephant Club, Night Club, wag yun. Dahil mong membership ng club, tapos nagkakaroon kayo ng small group, pero wala kang ma-share sa asawa mo, sa pamilya mo, hindi Christian yan, Brad. Hindi Christian yan. Kahit 3 pa small group mo araw-araw, hindi Christian yan. That's not leading in faith. Ang tawag dyan, barkadahan. Okay lang yun. Nag-mission trip ka pa. No? Hindi ka man, umakit ka ng mga bundok. Saan ka pupunta? Pero hindi mo ma-share ng pamilya mo kung what God is doing in your life. Hindi ministry yan. That's not a spiritual walk. It's a hobby. I don't have a problem with hobbies. I have a lot of hobbies. A lot of hobbies. As in, the other day, sabi ng anak ko, Ma, Dad, kailan tayo makakaroon ng aso? Sabi ng misis ko, never. Why? Hanggat hindi mo na bibitawan ng daddy mo mga ibang hobbies niya. Okay. Gets ko na. Tapos na. You know, that's a stupid question by my son. I don't even ask that. Meron tayong mga lalaki na hindi natin tinatanong sa asawa natin. Kasi alam natin hindi ang sagot. So for your own personal pride, no, huwag mo na lang tanong. Ha? Ganon din mga misis. Pag kailangan mo laki sa yung pigi mo para maisot yung damit mo ng high school ka, huwag mo na itanong kay Sir, Ben, bagay mo ba sa akin? Mukha pa rin ba ako Coke? Kasi sasagot doon sa'yo, oo, ang ganda, pero sa isip niya ako, 1.5. Pero parang mo yung tanong. Mga lalaki for your self-sanity, gawin mo na ang kailangan mong gawin, di ba? Huwag ka na magtanong. Galingan mo na lang. Baka sila ng effort. Kunyari, hinugasan mo. Huwag mo yung tanong, Ben, okay na ba? Kasi sigurado yan, you clean 99% of the plate, pero yung isang pata ng itlog na hindi mo natanggal, kasi hirap mo eh, may sebo, makikita ng asawa mo, isa maliit na patak ng sebo. Hindi niya makikita yung 99% na nilinis mo. Tuturo ko yung style, Ben. Pag yun na ako na, may natirang pagkain, sabi, hindi babe, sinesave ko yun for lunch. Appetizer ko yun for lunch. Come on now, we can't lead in faith because we haven't built up our own faith. Member tayo ng autonomous quote-unquote ministries and so on and so forth. But that's not really ministry. That's a hobby. But don't call it faith. I don't care if you share the Bible on the highest roof of Mount Apple with your brothers or sisters. But if you can't share that at home, it's not faith built up. Bakit? Kasi kung talagang napalakas mo yung faith mo, aapaw yan, Brad. Psalm 23. You anoint my head with oil, cup runs over. Any walk with God will always run over. Always run over. Secondly, there's relationship successful because they share a common passion. Nakalimutan lang. Andrew, sandali. Ito yung papasok yung ano. Sabi mo lang, yes, passion. Yan yung mga type ko. Ganyan, okay? Look at the two of them. Ha? In Acts chapter 18, sabi nito ganito. And a Jew, by this time they're ministering with the Apostle Paul. No? Apostle Paul. Notice the switch in the name. Nakita nila ka-underline? No? This time it's now Priscilla and Aquila. Apparently, siguro si Aquila, mas malakas ang kanyang Bible study, mas malalim siya mag-aral, yung gano'n, no? And notice it said, and a Jew named Apollos began to speak boldly in the synagogue. Kasi si Apollos naging Christian and became a follower. Eh magaling si Apollos. Na-convert siya to the ministry of Paul. And he began to speak boldly in the synagogue. But when Priscilla and Aquila heard him, they took him aside and explained to him the way of God more accurately. Why? Kasi si Apollos apparently was a gifted speaker and a known person. Para siya si Kanye West. No? Para si Manny Pacquiao. Diba? Nung si Manny Pacquiao, sinasabi lang yan, kaya kung mag-boss up ng 1,000, pinagtatawanan natin. No? Lahat ng bagay meron to. Mag-boxing tayo to! No, suddenly si Pacquiao nagsasalita ng Hebrew and also, whoa! Rapat mo kasi may tok pa rin. Bisaya talaga, hindi mo wala. Hindi man mawala kitang Bisaya, kahit Hebreo, meron ng tok sa dulo. No? And the Hebrew and the Homer sa mga tok, may tok pa rin. No? Suddenly si Pacquiao nagko-quote ng verses. Haba ng verse! No? Suddenly, people began to believe that God. Kaya lang, grabe yung radicalism ni Pacquiao. Yung radicalism ni Kanye West. It's almost like we're waiting for them to fail. Para maging tao lang sila. Diba? Kahit ako eh. You know, obviously, yung mga hindi nakakilala kay Kanye West, okay lang po. You know, but I've known the guy. Listen to the guy long before he became pastor. You listen to Kanye West. O kung yung kapatid niya si East, si IBC East, sabi ng mga owner, okay, church pala yun. Church po yun. Okay lang. Share each other's passions. No? Apparently, Priscilla was very passionate about the study of the Word of God. Now, I'm not talking about just biblical passion, but apparently, matindi yung passion nitong dalawa. But notice, dalawa. What do you mean, Pastor? Huh? When you talk about share a common passion, they both invested in time and knowledge in knowing each other's interests. Be passionate about your partner's interest and passion. When we share our passions, we literally share in each other's lives. Kahit di ka makarelate, di ka marunong mag-basketball, akala mo si Irvin Magic Johnson, si Julius Irvin, at si Kyrie Irving ay magkakapatid. Sabi ng isa, di ba? Wala ka, magkakapatid yan. Akala mo si Larry Bird ay isang type ng ibon. Akala mo si Michael Jordan, dahil may air, totoong lumilipad. I believe I can fly. Hindi ka makarelate, no? Yung asawa mo mahilig magbisikleta sa bundok. Iniisip mo, ang hirap mo na. Pag dito lang sa luneta, paikot-ikot ka lang, hindi ka mapapagod. Hindi ko naiintindihan. Bakit yung asawa mo, dalawa mo lang kamay, kailangan na 10 kilo? Bakit ang asawa mo, hindi naman imelda ang pangalan, pero dahil sapatos? Hindi ka makarelate. And you know what happens? You know what happens? You know what happens? And this also is the same sa family relationship. Yung anak mo, ang hilig mag-Call of Duty, mag-Mobile Legends, ha? Hindi mo maintindihan ba't ang bilis pumindot? Eh, dalawa naman dali yung ginagawa. Di ka makarelate, tatay, nanay. Ha? Wala kang alam sa computer. computer. Ang akala mo mouse, huminuhuli sa pandikit. Can't relate. And I ask you this morning to build relationship, share a faith. When was the last time you asked your son or your daughter, how was your church today? How did you do it ministry? What did you learn today? When was the last time you talked to them and said, what did you learn? Are your children able to ask you biblical questions? You know why they never ask you? Because they think you don't know the answer. Uli! Tatay! You know why kids don't ask you about God? Because they think it's just a religion to you. Share a passion. Intindihin mo. Bakit? Pakinig sa akin ulit. The number one cause of affairs, listen, the number one cause of affairs in marriage starts with the common passion not found in the house. Isa di ba nakita, isa may napalay lalaki yan, babae yan. Eh di ba sa common place? Pastor, takot ako mag-bike. Bilihan mo siya ng magandang bike. Palagay mo sidecar, sakay ka. I'm not saying pagbigyan mo lahat. Pero at least share a common passion. Look at these two. Obviously, Priscilla, and you could, again, hermeneutically speaking, obviously was much mature and mas magaling sa Bible compared to Aquila. Every time, we only mention one, mas magaling. Each time, puro Priscilla. Each time, apparently, matindi si Priscilla. Did you ever see Aquila say, parati ikaw na lang, ganyan kasi, matalino ka, magaling ka. You ever see that? In my house, matagal ko nang tanggap, matalino siya sa akin. Alam ko din, na kaya niya ako pinakasalan dahil sa katawan ko. Ako'y arm candy. Face value lang talaga. Understand that? There's things that we accept as it is. Ang galing magluto. Ako naging invento lang. Pero yung mga anak ko pag nagluto ko, sabi niya, pag si daddy nagluto, parang sarap magluto rin dad. Unfair. Hindi niya papansin yung galing na asawa lang. Bakit? May akong secret. Pinaghahalo-halo ko lang lahat. What? Ha? Sa restaurant mo nakuha yan? Naisip ko lang. Tapos nilagyan ko itlog, di omelette, di mechado, itlog, mechado omelette. Gano'n, lahat ng bagay masarap pag may itlog. I will prove my point. Lahat ng lalaki dito, mahilig sa itlog. Tama ba ako? Sardinas! Naginisa! Lagyan mo itlog. Whoa! Amen! Ganigay sa akin. Technique yan. Important yan. Yung mga anak nyo, pag si dati nagluto, parang... Di lalam, itlog lang katapat niya. Itlog! Sinigang! Tuyuin mo! Lagay mo sa kanin! Lagyan mo itlog! Fried rice. Sumasamba ko rin yung nasa akin. Ang galing-galing ko magluto. Puro tape lang na pala, pero ako si dati luto! Kain tayo! Tira-tirang bacon, butil-butil na lang eh. No? Tira-tirang ground beef, sama mo lahat sa kanin! Itlog! Panalo, ha? Grabe! Ano klaseng fried rice yan? Kakaiba! Ang tawag dyan, tira-tira, fried rice. Itlog lang! Ngayon sabi ng mga anak ko, pero sabi mo na nga ba naisaan tayo na dati? Itlog lang pala. O bakit? Hindi kaya kakain. Kumuha ko, alam mo, nag-uunahan niya, pag ako nagluto. Itlog lang, ano ba? Sa ako, dahil mga gourmet. Ako wala gourmet. Itlog! Tapos! So minsan pagkatapos ko magluto, ano ba itong ginawa ko? Pati sa ito, naging masukal. Sarap dahil. Parang nalaman yung alat sa kasukal. Kasi alat sa kasukal na dito. Siyempre, nalaman yung dalawa. Galing na. Sa restaurant mo na ako. Siguro, alam ba sa Amerika? Oo, parang napapatis ba Amerikano? But share a common interest. celebrating the 50-year reunion of class of 1986. Sa isip ko lang, 50 years, 1986, di, parang kailan pa yun? 20, tagal ba? Nag-anticipate, sabi ko, buhay ba kami lahat dito? Bakit tulad kami dito? Ay, pare, naalala mo noong unang panahon, nung nagbabasketball tayo, nag-shoot tayo. Aray. 50 years, talaga lang. Tigilan niyo ako yung mga business lunch, business dinners with clients, tas kayo lang. I-lunch mo muna yung asawa mo. I-dinner mo muna yung asawa mo. Share a common passion. You know why nakaka-affairs? Kasi pwede nilang ikwento yung kanilang iniisip sa isang tao na baka naman iba, pero they actually care. Ano bakit sikat ang GR mo sa Pilipinas? Kasi yung GR mo, ano lang pinag-aralan, hindi naman lahat, pero ano lang pinag-aralan, meron silang isang important talent. Alam niyo kung ano? Hindi po sa kama. Ito po. Naisip niya, hindi ko alam spelling yan, pero taga-tango, taga-pakine. Mga babae, mga misis, sobrang busy nyo sa lahat ng bagay. Sobrang busy sa trabaho, sobrang busy sa mga bata, sobrang busy sa lahat ng iyong pinagkakaabalahan. Tumigil ka sandali, makipag-usap ka sa asawa mo. Kasi pag hindi mo pinakinggan yan, sa iba magkukwento yan. Kasi pastor, para sa pamilya ko, kung para sa kanila pala, iunahin ko sila. Mga magulang, you wonder why your kids don't talk to you? Because they can't relate to you. Kasi you're too busy providing for their future. Tapos suddenly, on an awkward moment, tara na! Labas tayo! Mamasyal tayo! Wala salitaan. Ano walang salitaan? Tatay kita, pero hindi ka makilala. Suddenly, tayo yung tanong. Hindi mo magsasabi ko sa crush ko. Why? Because they can't relate to you. Share a common passion. I know you always know how that I harp about my wife all the time when I'm closing, okay? I talk about my wife all the time. One of the greatest things I appreciate about my wife is she appreciates my passion. Nung pinanganak ko ako, wala pa yung word na ADHD. No? Pero naniniwala pa ako. Kung pinanganak ako ngayon, baka meron ako. In fact, when I did a psychological study, ang lumabas sa akin, I was manic. Ibig sabihin ng manic, I get into so many things all at the same time. May mga advantages yun. Ibig sabihin, kaya ko mag-multitask. Kaya ko mag-multitask. I can do so many things and apply myself to so many different interests. Pag nagkwentuhan tayo, kahit ano, pwede natin pagkwentuhan. Kasi yung utak ko ganun. But the danger of that sometimes is you never finish anything with excellence. So sometimes, my advisor, my professor said, James, you will never even finish in college if you don't conquer that part. So I drive myself to finish every single time. Kahit panghuhugas ng plato, I drive myself to finish it. Kasi otherwise, I will do something else. But my wife, she's, you know, is, anak mayaman po yan, if you don't. She was born with a silver spoon in her mouth. She's born from multi-millionaires. Ang kanyang pinanggalingan. May mga kapatid yan, ngayon, 50 anyos na mahigit, may mga yaya pa. Traveled the world, kung saan-saan, went to the best schools, locally, international, anak mayaman yan. Pero never yan nagkaroon ng isip na anak mayaman. For those of you who know her, you know it's that way. One of the things I love about her is she knows how to share a passion. Parang hindi niya maintindihan, but she will learn about it. There are things that I do that she cannot relate to. For example, I'm trying to control my blood sugar. Hindi makarelate yan. Kasi abusado sa asukal niya, tapos yung blood sugar niya dito mataas. Parang wag. Hindi makatao. Nagmi-midnight snack. Kumakain ng mani, cashews, kung ano-ano. Nagmi-midnight, nakakain sa gitna ng gabi. Ha? Ako yung isip ko parang tumataba na ako eh. Ang hirap. So lately, I've been doing a different thing of taking control of my sugar levels, and praise God, it's working. And she's trying to understand. Hindi siya makarelate kasi wala siyang issue doon eh. That's one of those. And then I got to a passion. That she doesn't like, kasi she's a normal person. Hindi siya mahilig sa mga animals. Ang kanyang view of a vacation is just to, ang kanyang view ng vacation is sarahan ng bahay, manood ng Netflix o kaya DVD. She doesn't like animals. She's never taken to animals. Hindi siya mahilig sa animals. Mahilig siya sa zoo, pero hindi siya mahilig sa animals. She doesn't care for taking care of animals. She doesn't. As in, ayaw niya. Wala lang. Sa kanyang animals dapat tinuluto. And there's some things that your pastor does that's really weird and really off the wall. And I appreciate her for taking the time to understand. Taking the time. She still doesn't love them, but she understands. Now, na-appreciate na niya. Kaya ako nilabas to kasi pinaganak ko sa bahay namin eh. She takes time to appreciate it. Ngayon, lubi na siya. Kasi lahat ng anak ko, pati apo ko, mahilig. See? So now, if you can't win them, join them. It takes time to appreciate. No? So kung mahal mo ako bilang pastor, papasa ko po ito, pasa-pasa ko lang ito sa ito. Isip po tayo sa side na ito. Tulus dili ka. Dati pinapos to. Hindi ba yan yung nakakalog ng tao? Hello, nakakalog ng tao. Malaki pa rin malaki mo dito eh. Doon lumapit dito. Puso ko. Ha? Kaya sa baris, para sa lumapit. I mean, I like them so much. I have one right there. I mean, share common passion. Take time. What I never understood was, nung magsusyota kayo, you did all the time. At least you fake it talaga. When it sa stage, ay, ang ganda. Sa isip mo, Diba? I just praise God na asawa ko hindi mahilig sa pusa. Kasi ang paniwala ko, ang pusa, ilata niya sa kanas. Nung si Lucifer ay tumalikod sa Panginoon, may hawak siya pusa. Buti na lang, hindi mahilig. I pulled this out because that's our bit. Balik ka dito. Tulungan mo. Patanungin ka. Ano? Hindi, she doesn't understand anong klase, anong morph, anong ganito, anong dugo, anong kahit na ganun lang, kasimple. Boys, please don't say, oh, mahal, ikaw naman. Bili tayo ng cobra. There's some things that's not natural. Maybe you'll never get to ride a motorcycle kasi talagang tingin mo suicide yan. Or maybe you don't like riding a bike kasi hindi ka makalakad na may balance sa sakya pa ng bisikleta. Maybe hindi mo maintindihan yung basketball. Or maybe you don't like Korean telenovelas. Or maybe yung asawa mo like si Marvin, ang kanyang fascination ay ang pinakabagong virus at bagong technology ng computer fans. Si Marvin pwede kayo magkwentuhan ng computer fan. Yung electric fan ba sa loob ng computer? Forever and ever. Electric fan lang naman yun eh, di ba? 3D, don't matter. She can, he can, Maybe hindi ka makarelate sa ganun. Maybe hindi ka makarelate sa bagong suot o bagong ano. But at least share the passion. Babe, ito ka pala ulam natin mamaya. Pakilutin mo. Pag sinamahan mo na itulog yan, masarap. Thank you, balik mo lang. Drew, pakipasa mo lang sa mga members natin. Para ma-appreciate it. Share a passion. Share. Last one. Basta po. Confidence can be made strong when we share a common cause and vision. Alam niyo yun? They took time to know. Kasi pastor, di mo naintindihan. My wife and I are night and day. My son and I are night and day. My daughter and I are night and day. How can we share a common cause? You know what I understand? There's too many people inside the family take too much time determining how different they are than how God put them together. Hindi mo naintindihan. Ang relationships mo, galing kay Lord yan. Hindi para parusahan ka, kundi para alamin nyo how you can contribute to make things better. Ako po ay gastador. Grabe. Ang misis ko, napakatipid. Sa sobrang tipid ng misis ko, pahihiya ang mga Ilocano sumabay sa kanya. Yan po, unang pinag-awayan namin yan. Malaki-laking awayan. Sabi ng tatay ko ganito, tinawag kami dalawa, James, Marisa, ganito. This is my father said, sabi niya, money is a great slave, but a terrible master. Simple as that. If God blessed you, enjoy it. But don't enjoy it so much na naubos naman yung source. Hanap kayo ng balance. So in other words, whoever is more authoritative at a particular time, that is God brought you there para gamitin yun. Masyadong busy ang mga pamilya, kaya isip how different they are, rather than trying to understand that God brought you into the relationship. God brought your husband, God brought your wife, God brought your child. Mga kabataan, God brought you in the family para dalahin mo kung ano yung binigay ni God sa'yo sa pamilya. Kasi pag kailangan yun, ikaw ang tatawagin. God made it different. Not so you can highlight the differences, but find out how they can actually make you better. How they can make you better. It's so simple. The other day, exam ng mga anak namin, ginising ako ng maaga, asawa ko, sila gising yung mga bata, gusto mag-review. Napunta sa kanya si Noah, Aidan, napunta sa akin si Franklin, nag-aaral kami. Suddenly, may tanong si Franklin. Alam niyo, pag alas 4:30 ng umaga, yung utak ko, ang alam ng alphabet ay K, A, P, E. Yun lang alam ng utak ko. Kape. After nun, dumadami yung laman ng utak ko ng alphabet. K, A, P, E, S. Kapes. Dagdagan mo ba? Wala. When I drink my first cup of coffee, my kids, niloloko ko niyan. Hindi ko alam pinapanood pa nila. Kasi when I take my first cup of coffee, I close my eyes. And let it simmer in my mouth before I swallow it in. Sometimes talaga na-enjoy mo kape. So napunta sa akin yung tutorial ni Franklin. Alam nyo, naniniwala po ako na ang mat at kaparis ng pusa ay kaysa panas. Oo. Ano sinabi ni Lucifer? Di ba compare siya ng compare kung ano si God? Di ba gano'n ang math, problem solving? Ba't di ko pwedeng ganyan? O, math yun. Eh si Franklin, math ang tanong. Nakita ng asawa ko yung mukha ko. Yung bang parang aso na malapit na masadasaan ng bus. Nakatingin sa ilaw. 4:30 na umaga. 5 o'clock na umaga. How to calculate the percentage of a sale? Ang sagot ko, alam mo calculator? Sabi ni Franklin, hindi pwede mag-calculator dyan. Eh, nakailang degree na ako, naniniwala kasi ako, math to eh. Pag X mo, iwan mo na. Pwede ng math, solve for X. Sabi ng Bible, forgetting the things which are behind and reaching as to what is before. Pag Diba? Sabi ng mga ibang lalaki, mabombo sa magtama, pastor, amen. May verse na ako sa mga. Hindi na ako sa asawa ko ganyan. Yung mukha ko parang, wala akong may contribute sa araw na ito. Kailangan ko mag-review, kulang yung kape. Sabi niya sa akin, gusto mo palit tayo? Sabi ko, oo. Nagpalit kami. Nagkataon, geography, history, yun. Putik na po kung maging history major. I love history. Biblical history, world history, doesn't matter. I can talk all day about history and civilizations. Kung kay Noah, ano kailangan mo malaman? Kulang yung reviewer na anak ko, dinagdagan ko pa. Yung mga hindi niya alam. Yung anak ko nag-isip parang, anong kinalaman niya siya, sabi niya, Dad? Hindi ko naman in-exam niya. Kahit na, importante malaman niya, may dagdag pa. Alam mo ba't ganyan yan? Bakit, Dad? Kasi, kulang na yung libro, dinagdagan mo. Oh, diba? Anong sinasabi ng pastor? Iyan po, siya tayo busy sa relationships natin, mag-asawa, pamilya, kaya alam natin, ba't hindi tayo dapat nasa pamilya na to? Ba't hindi nila ako maintindihan? Bakit hindi sila ako makakontribute sa buhay ko? Why can't I do this? Why can't they do that? How about for change? Find out what you can contribute to make your family and your relationship better. How about that? Pwede mo sabihin, bakit tingin mo sa akin? Bobo ko sa mat? Tingin ang asawa ko, oo, tama. Pwede ko maging prideful bilang tatay. O sabihin, ako na sa history, hindi ka marunong yan. How many times do husbands and wives do that? We're so busy trying to pull each other down so that we could be better. Rather than taking time to share a common cause. They took time to know God's vision for them together and work towards it together. Everything else was second priority. What I understood about family, leadership, company is that together we achieve more. Tama ba? Together we achieve more. 700 farmers kinuha ni Joseph Stalin ang Italy and converted it into communist with only 700 farmers. Lenin established the Communist Party and Soviet Union. Hanggang ngayon, buhay pa siya. And East and West Germany, sila Nicolae Ceausescu, converted it with only a handful of people. Bakit alam nyo? Because they were together. The church in this country is messed up. Ginagapang tayo ng lahat ng Sochi Equality Bill. Bakit? Kasi ang daming church, busy masyado, magpasika, magpabisya, magpa-apostle, magpa-prophet, magpaganito, nakalaboso ng bansa. But together, your marriage, your family, kayong mga kabataan, sa inyong mga magulang, sa kabataan, together, we can achieve more. Together. Only together. Yeah. What good is your promotion if it's just for you? What good is your degree if it's just for you? What good is your happiness, your enjoyment, your hobby if it's just yours? Together, we achieve it. The model of Priscilla and Aquila. Dear Lord, we come before you this morning. Help us to take time to work at things together. That you brought us together as husband and wife, together as family, together, so that we can do more. Teach us that today. Challenge us to be better together to take time to share faith, to share passion, to share vision together. Teach us, Lord, to do that today. Ikaw lang po ang pwede gumawa nito, Lord. Challenge us to be better together. To understand that relationships are broken because covenants were broken. Help us to be a hand of peace, a hand of forgiveness, a hand of grace, a hand of love. And teach us, Lord, to be better. On the season for the family, teach us to be the family na dinesign mo, Panginoon, para sa amin. In your name we pray. Amen.